Good morning and thank you for watching this video of Repair Guy 1, home of Bargeguy.com. We manufacture pile driving barges. This is not our first video, but I haven't done one in a while. I want to kind of give you an update of how it's going. Anybody that's watched the previous videos already know what the shop looks like. We haven't done much expansion since last fall, when we did added on the assembly shop, which is air conditioned, and then a straight out steel shop, which was strictly to keep the contamination out of the aluminum shop. COVID, we haven't had to shut down for COVID, but it's been a bitch. I won't sugarcoat it. I've been in business a lot of years over with different businesses, and this has been the hardest, most challenging year. And right here in front of you, I'll show you, is one reason why it's a challenge for me right now is all this aluminum that we have here, which is great. It's paid for. I paid for it with the cash, well over $60,000 sitting there. So what we did last year was when everything hit, you know, we knew that we weren't going to close down. And I took all my working capital and bought as much supplies as I could in all of our specialty parts that I knew that we could build a barge, but we couldn't finish it because we wouldn't be able to get our specialty parts. So that was good. We bought as much as I could. I don't know, I bought $70,000, I think, in winches and aluminum, and that's not including the coils and all that good stuff. Just is what it is. I mean, if you want to protect your company, you got to get the material in there to get it done. And that's what I did. So that was going all good. We got material in here, but then I decided to change the game up, which would be better for us. And because we were building longer barges, and we always were building longer barges, we can only get 20-foot long sheets. So I started looking into buying coils of aluminum. So that's what we did. We bought a coil of aluminum, and it's about $60,000 a shot. And we can depict what lengths that we want them cut to. But the only challenge with that is you got to give them the lengths when the coil comes in, and they're going to cut the whole coil, and you get no say. You got to know, you know, everything about it. There's no guesswork about it. You got to know what you're going to be selling in the future, or otherwise the coils don't really pay out. So we bought our first coil, and we did pretty good with it. We still got some sheets out of it, which you can see. And then we got this big old barge right here that is a special order, 6 foot wide. And I think it was almost 36 foot long, which is great. It's got a pilot house. It's a little bit out of our normal, but there's no reason we can't do it. So I had 3 barges lined up that were going to take a 6 foot coil. So I bought a 6 foot coil. Another $60,000. I had to pay for it up front again. And that's really kind of when the nightmare started. Was we ordered the coil. It was promised to us in November, or it might have been before that. I don't remember. You know. And the short of the story is that it came in around Thanksgiving, and company in Tampa starts out with Stewart and ends with Stainless. They were the ones I bought it from. They took them over 2 months to get that coil processed. We lost our build spot for that barge, and it made us move all of our jobs around. And then when we finally got that coil delivered, first of all, I knew not to cut. It comes in two big coils. I said, well, I'm only going to cut the first one this time. I'm not going to cut the second one because I don't know what it is. That way, when I get future orders, I can make it perfect. So the guys are out here in the shop. I come in one day and they said, hey, we're missing a sheet. I'm like, what do you mean missing a sheet? So we were missing one of the longest sheets that we ordered out of that coil. And mind you, we bought that coil just to build this barge and 2 others, which, by the way, the 2 other guys backed out. Lost their $5,000 deposits, but they still backed out, which screwed me. Okay, so we're taking a beating at this point. So I call up the company that I bought it from. I said, hey, where's my 35-foot sheet? Oh, well, yeah, there was a problem in processing, so that they didn't cut your 35-foot sheet, so they gave you a 20-foot sheet instead. I'm like, well, how's that work? I said, I gave you the exact measurements that I wanted, and anybody with half a brain starts cutting the longest to the shortest, because anybody can buy a 20-foot sheet in stock any day from most vendors. So why would you cut the short first? And well, they cut the short first and shorted me on the long piece, after I spent $60,000 to get the material for the barge. Well, their answer is, well, there's nothing we can do about it, which really wasn't good for me. It just screwed me. So what we had to do was take another sheet that we had for something else. We had to cut that so we could go on the barge because they already delayed us, blah, blah, blah. A month later, they're still, well, we won't do nothing for you. Yeah, you can get a lawyer. You can get a lawyer for anything you want, but what good is it going to do? Cost you money, and down the road, they're going to say, yeah, you're right. So I was forced into cutting my second coil of aluminum that I did not need to do to keep our job going for the customer. Well, of course, I had to pick random sizes, which now they're all wrong. We'll be able to build barges out of it, but it's hurting me, okay? So we made a lot of mistakes in the last year, and hopefully we'll get over it. So now we're at the point that you've always heard me say I paid cash for everything, and I have. That I need help from a bank, small business loan, private, whatever it be, to get me through this bump. And the good thing is the shop is running great. We fine-tuned it. We got our productions up. Our orders are coming in. But our mistakes from last year are catching up with us. Get a couple slow months, money starts slowing down. It gets real fast. So the virus is, the side effects are unbelievable. We ordered Suzuki engines last year, November, for this build. They came in about a month ago, but that's 6 months to get engines that used to be get them anytime you want. Same thing with our Yamaha. We can't get engines. They're starting to slowly come in. We build hydraulic power packs, the Honda engines. All of a sudden, they're back ordered. It doesn't matter what it is. Every week, it's something. And it's not just us. Every company I've ever talked to has the same problem. So it's the whole economy is foobarred because a bunch of people that are afraid of the flu. I'll say it, I'm sure I'll get some hate from it, but it comes every year, the flu, and people get sick, and we move on, and everything's good. So I know a lot of businesses probably closed already. They couldn't deal with it. I'm digging down. You would think the right thing to do is put your money into the materials and all the stuff, and it probably wasn't. But last year, honestly, because of the election, I went to the bank. I said, hey, let's set up a loan. They said, well, we're not doing loans right now because we got a new president coming in. The banks are not your friend. They never have been. When you really need it, they're not there for you, and when you don't need it, they're knocking on your door. So I was never a big believer in the whole credit game because every time I had good credit, the banks pulled it because of whatever, the 2008, the this, the that, It's such a game. Got my credit good, and it's never good enough for what they want to do. So my suggestion to somebody starting a business now is, stick to the same principles that I had. do what you can, take any job you can. The biggest thing is quality. If you don't turn out a quality product, you'll never make it. You know, you might be able to get by for a while with screwing people or inferior products, but eventually it comes around and it'll get you. I don't want this to be a bitching video. Last year our numbers were up, we doubled again. Our profit was down because of all of our expansion and all of our turnover from employees that came in that they said they know how to weld, they don't. You know, it's just, you know, people want to sell you a pile of lies to get in the door, and it cost the owner a lot of money and a lot of downtime. So I guess some of my recommendations are, and it's hard because you don't get hardly anybody coming in the door to apply for the jobs, and it didn't matter how much money I offered or bonuses or anything. I mean, we're to the point that we had to sign, or not sign, but give out $2,000 signing bonuses just to get people to come in and apply, really, which was crazy. We got a pretty decent shop. It's still small. We got around 10 guys. We got a good work atmosphere. You know, we got good equipment. We got a lot of attractive things why employees want to come here. We don't have benefits. I'm upfront about that. We don't hide that, nothing. But, you know, when you're starting out, you're 5 years, you're still starting out. No partners or nothing. Benefits will come. And I pay my staff good enough that if they want insurance, they could easily go out and pay for insurance. So it's a choice that they can make. So I appreciate you watching this video. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. This year, we are meeting our goals of fine-tuning the company, better quality, faster production times. We're hitting all that stuff, even though we got a lot of hurdles in front of us of parts delays, parts problems, parts. One day you can't get your aluminum sheets that you could get for 5 years. One day you can't get the channel. One day you can't get this. But the one thing is we got plenty of aluminum to build the outside of our barges. So we're set there for a while. So again, thank you for watching Repair Guy 1 down in Clearwater, Florida, home of Bargeguy.com. We'll still keep kicking ass and might just slow down a little bit, reorganize, and get back swinging hard at it. Thanks again.